Hey, Scotch lovers. Scotch
What's
for
going
Dummies here
on?
tonight.
Yes, what's going on?
And
What we got on this
fifth-
bar?
A fifth dummy.
A guest.
We have a bourbon boy with us today.
It's alright. Only
Thank
befitting
you.
that we would
Thank
have
you.
a bourbon guest to review.
Scotch
this
is too
guy right
pretentious,
here.
so we'll do bourbons.
Bourbons?
Oh,
bourbons.
So look what we've got tonight.
Johnnie Walker Select Casks. Rye Cask
Rye
Scotch.
Cask.
What? I'm a Johnnie Walker guy. I
This
really
is
don't
the
know
first
anything
and only
about
one I know of that Scotch with rye.
So Johnnie Walker takes
We're not sure about this.
takes their material, puts it in new first fill American oak casks, and then they
Okay.
finish it in rye whiskey casks.
Ah,
So
whiskey,
you get
rye
that
whiskey.
rye flavor coming in.
Now I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of people who are like, "Well, rye's not so bad."
This bad boy.
I'm not really a big rye guy. If I liked rye, then we'd be doing rye reviews,
Right.
and that's really not our thing. But well, we're gonna try it and see what's going on
Because it is a Scotch.
It is an age statement, though. They put 10 on it, so
10 years?
I appreciate that.
So it's 10 years in there, first fill American oak.
And it's 46%, which is high for a typical Johnnie Walker.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, too. I'm not sure if that's as a result of what they're doing or because it's a young, all the other Johnnie Walkers are 12, right?
12.
I don't know if red is, but
Yeah, probably.
to
Red's
have a
like
46% is a little high for Johnny. So I don't know. I'm anxious to see what happens here. I gotta be honest, guys. I don't have high expectations because I'm not a
Yeah.
big Rye fan.
I'm
but
with you.
I gotta be fair about it. Quick little piece of tidbit information about Johnnie Walker that I learned as I was reading about it, because I'm a big Johnnie Walker fan. The Johnnie Walker label is actually angled, and that's a very intentional. I think it's 23 degrees. Which they,
What?
It's interesting.
And why is it at an angle? Because way back when the brand was started, back then they used to sell. There weren't liquor stores around. They sold their scotches at grocery stores, and the founder of Johnnie Walker actually had a grocery store that he sold this liquor on. And as he was looking at his liquor on the shelf with all the other liquors had straight labels, and he wanted his to stand out. So he
Marketing.
angled the labels at 23 degrees so that they looked different standing against the
It's all about pimping your
So
product.
it was a marketing ploy, and it
There you
stays
go.
true today. So anyway, that's what I read. True, false, believe it or not. I don't know.
Pretty
It's
cool.
It's a good story.
Well, we can.
Let's have some scotch.
Yeah,
We
right.
can say thanks to my brother-in-law to bring this one. This was a Scotch
There
Fairy,
you go.
so I appreciate
So
that.
do we
Yeah,
have a
that-
price on this?
I think it's around $40. Maybe no, actually, I think maybe more. Can you look that up for us?
So it's a little more expensive. We got an intern here helping us out.
Yeah.
But if you, hey, you know what? If you
Unpaid
want to
interns.
send us some Scotch Fairy donations, we'll accept them from Scotch.
Yeah, we'll do research and find out who.
P.O. Box Scotch for Dummies.
We'll even invite you to come on.
You can send some bourbon too, because I'll show up and I'll drink
Right,
it.
I smell. I mean, honestly, I smell alcohol.
Well, I mean, I smell
I get
the.
a
I got the rye.
So Johnnie Walker is a
Oh, it's
as a blend, or no, it is a.
Blend.
It's not
It's
as
a blended
strong,
Scotch
though,
whisky.
as
So
it's
you do
just a
you
hint.
get some grain in there. There's some grain.
Right, they
whiskey
do
in
use
there.
grain
It's
whiskey.
not a
Yeah.
malt
Oh, yeah.
malt blend, so you get some of that, and,
That's
I
true.
do smell that grain
I-
in
yeah.
the nose.
I'll tell you what, I get some of the oak influence. I don't get as much of the rye as I thought I would on the nose.
No smoke
on the
at
nose,
all.
yeah, I do definitely get that because they do make it clear that it is first fill American oak casks. So you do get more oak in this than you would normally in a Scotch.
It's
'cause
a
typically-
lot of oak.
Yeah, there's a lot of oak there.
The
And
rye-
Just
the rye's
on the
pretty-
sip, it's
Oh, you've tasted this. You've done a sip. So I'm still doing the nose, and yeah, it tastes oaky.
it's very oak forward.
I'm not
What's the
that?
proof on this?
smelling dirt
40?
or anything too
There's
charred.
no smoke. There's no peat. There's no
46.
sherry. There's no
Is that what
sweetness.
you're looking for?
Sherry
Yeah.
sweetness in there. Oh look, he's got the flavor wheel. See what a
I
great
can't.
idea to
I
have a flavor
can't.
wheel.
I can't pull out what I said. There's something in there.
55
I
bucks?
smell.
So $55 for this one. See now on the nose, I'm kind of sensitive to rye. It's pretty strong for me.
See, I get it on the nose,
Orangey too.
but it's almost a lingering aftertaste. But I get all oak on the initial.
What you got in the nose? Anything?
I'm just expecting the dirt and
The peat and
Peat.
smoke. Not
Yeah.
it.
No,
smoke.
not this kind of scotch.
and
Not here.
So it's like
Oh,
changed
man.
my expectations.
So that first sip I pulled on this, it was
Wow.
almost there was almost nothing there until it kind of sat, and then as the
Yeah.
palate kind of matured, I got more of the richness. I'm actually getting a fairly good oaky rich flavor coming out and kind
Yeah.
of finishing on that. I mean,
That first swill for me was sweeter than I anticipated. I mean,
Really?
honestly,
Yeah, me too.
It's
It's sweet.
really sweet, almost like that. I put a sugar packet in. I mean, really, just very
It's all that
sweet.
vanilla.
It's gotta be.
It is
coming out of the cask.
out of the oak. Yeah. I mean, it's
I'm definitely tasting the sweetness.
it's got a very bourbony quality to it.
I would
And that's
imagine
what they're
you
going
like
for.
Oh,
this.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
pretty
Uh,
bourbon.
you
what
know,
they're trying to do.
first fill American oak.
Wow.
You know, that's what they're going for.
That second sip really tastes like bourbon. I mean,
Yeah.
you do. That vanilla really comes out of that fresh oak. Now,
Yeah.
I don't get the rye until it kind of finishes. That's where it kind of, and typically when I'm
Pulls
drinking a
out.
rye whiskey, it's more in the finish than for me.
I put water on. Now I get the rye.
No, okay.
Really.
Yeah.
No,
But
no.
you know what? Not in a bad way. You know, because
subtle.
I'm usually pretty sensitive to rye, and it's usually not my thing. I've had a couple of bottles on the bar back there that I keep for this guy because I don't drink them. I just
Rye
don't.
guy.
I mean, I've tried them, but you know, they're just not my cup of tea. And
Right.
you know, it is what it is.
You have the sour, that kind of.
It is.
Yeah.
Some people are. It is. I mean, rye's a really popular
Yeah.
drink here in the States.
It's
I know
not
a
my
lot of
cup,
guys
but
like
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
whatever. But this is actually, it's just got a hint of it. So it's not an overpowering rye flavor. It's got enough to let you know it's there, and then that's it.
Woo!
What?
Yeah. You put that water on it, it changed the whole smell of it
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I
Yeah.
think so.
So we all know why water changes the
I guess we
nose.
need to do some research on that one. We had a chemist. If we just had a chemist in the group.
Yeah, we don't have any chemists.
Who can we call?
Now, if we call a chemical engineer.
A chemical engineer. Oh, freaking
Easy.
tomato, right?
Okay.
Walter White.
No, but as you add that water, all of those oils and things that are really, that kind of clump up in the alcohol, they can tend to open up more once you add that water
break
to
apart?
it. And you expose new molecules that are all clumped up in a center of a alcohol.
Love
you know.
fest.
Yeah,
Love-
exactly.
Love fest.
Sure.
Love fest.
It needs more
Orgy.
water to get those hydrophilic
Warren
chemicals
G. is that
out.
what you said?
Orgy.
Oh, I thought you said Warren G. I'm like, what?
Add more water to get the hydrophilic.
Kenny G.
It's like a little
Is
renegade
out of
going
there?
on.
It changes the nose.
All right, who's
Holy
up?
cow, that is.
Who
nose.
wants to go? Mark, you ready to get water on yours?
I was just
Here's
talking.
my
Talk to
first-
us, big man. You need a minute?
That was my first sip as
Take
water.
a
So,
minute.
all right, no,
Andrew's ready.
I'll rock with this. I'll start it off. I love Johnnie Walker. I really do. I support. Wow, I tried to go into this open-minded because I didn't think I was gonna really like it. I'm not a rye guy. Neat. I didn't really taste the rye so much. It definitely was oak through and through. Really sweet. But not bad. It wasn't off-putting. It tasted like bourbon to me more than anything else. It didn't taste like a Johnnie Walker, that's for sure. Not a really huge fan of the bourbon, but I'm more of a fan of bourbon than I am rye bourbon. But anyway, I put some water on it, changed
not
the
in your
nose.
wheelhouse, is that
No,
what you're saying?
it's not. And I guess I got to be fair. I don't like it because that's just not my palate. I think that they are successful in what they're trying to do. I think the bottle that they put together is more on par for what they try to do. It hits the target. Unfortunately, that target's not me, so I'm not really a fan of it. What was the price in this?
55?
$55. Man, for $55, I know what I can get for $55, and it's not this. But if you're on the fence about trying to switch into the Scotch market, but you're coming from the rye environment, you like the bourbons, this is part of the way. Give it a shot. Try it. You might actually find that this is a good bridge gap into something else. It doesn't work for me because I'm not trying to cross that bridge. Okay? So I'm gonna go 1.5 on it because it's not completely off-putting. I'm just not gonna go out of my way for it. I mean, honestly, I'll enjoy this glass, but if I'm gonna pour another glass of something, it's gonna be something that's not bourbon. It's
Yeah.
gonna be Scotch.
Yep.
So I get it why Johnny's trying to do it. They're trying to break into the bourbon market in the United States. Great. Good luck with you, Johnny. I'm going to stick with your other labels.
Yeah.
But that's me.
There you go.
So Johnnie Walker, RYE Cask, I would agree with Mark on the rating 1.5, and maybe a weak 1.5.
I thought
Mainly
about that.
because
I thought
this
about
is a pretty expensive bottle
Yeah.
of bourbon. So if you're going to buy bourbon,
Yeah, it is.
what can you get for $55? You can get some nice bourbon for $55. For a 750
Decent.
mil, you can get a pretty
Decent.
decent. You can get lots of richness
60
and
bucks.
sweetness and those kind of things. And this has all that, but it's not Scotch. And it doesn't have the classic Scotch flavors of that malt and even a sherry cask or a peated Scotch. This is not that. And so I'm gonna give it a 1.5, low 1.5, because what they are targeting, they hit. It tastes like a rye whiskey. A sweet rye whiskey, maybe you taste the grain in it, like you would in a Johnnie Walker, and they do all that fairly well. It is not a Scotch, in my view, so I'm gonna give it a 1.5, and I'm gonna pass it on to the other experts.
To the guest. Now, here's the bourbon guy, all right? So I'm really interested to hear what
So
he's
he's
got to
gonna
say
flip
about
it
it.
over,
'Cause,
I'm assuming.
I mean,
You can.
he's got much more experience in the bourbon
Which is,
line than
to your
than-
point,
right.
should fall in line.
Yeah.
So tell me, I really want to know his honest opinion here.
Okay, yes, this is very bourbon-esque.
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 Yep.
The
What do you expect?
Right.
last sip I just had though, I don't know if you guys all put water on it.
Right.
See, I haven't put water on it. My idea was, until just now, not putting water on it. I enjoyed it because it had the sweet notes, very smooth.
Yep.
Didn't have that peat taste,
No,
doesn't have that
no.
dirt taste,
No smoke.
or anything like that.
He's afraid of dirt.
Yeah.
Earthiness of a good.
Since I am pretty much bourbon or
Yeah.
American whiskeys,
Right.
But my last sip did have almost a little taste, background taste
Really?
of your classic Scotch.
Really?
I don't know.
So we,
Yeah,
we-
dig for it.
the,
I don't know
so
if
the
just-
thing what we've done is we've all added water to it, and I think when you add the water, the rye really comes up.
I really
That's,
think
we
so.
should come back to you maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Do you drink your bourbons neat mostly, or do you ever add water?
I will put it on a spirit.
Okay.
No, no,
Okay.
okay,
So
sphere by
you'll
sphere.
let it water down a little bit. You'll
Yeah.
chill it. You'll let it water.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. But this, I haven't done anything with it, and just let it air, let it go, and yeah, it's very, very tasty. So
There's
But
no,
it-
there's
but
no
it's a-
reason to put water on it. It tastes good.
yeah, that's why I
So what do
didn't.
you, I mean, I want you to put some water on it to get a full review. But right now, if you're throwing a number on it, what do you think?
Right now, as a rye or regular bourbon, classic bourbon, I'd probably say 2.5.
Okay.
A solid
bourbon,
2.5.
yeah.
That's fair.
It
All right.
is-
Yeah, it's interesting.
It was
I-
very tasty.
It's perspective for me.
Yeah.
That's all that. I
Yeah.
mean, I just want to know.
When I come back to me again, I'll put some water in
Yeah,
when
we'll
he
do that.
starts.
Yeah.
Yep.
But until then, yeah,
Alright.
I'll try it with some
Yep.
water.
All right, so I'm not a big rye guy either, and I'm kind of with Mark. I mean, the nose initially was, I thought was pretty heavy on the rye side. The water, I guess it was kind of the same, maybe a little bit more in the rye even, I think, in the nose. Palate for me, again, it almost a little delayed, but it was sweet, and then all of a sudden, bam, you get this orange rye going on. I guess the way I think of this is, if you want to think about it, is, and I may be off base here, but it's almost like you mix a little bit of blue with some rye bourbon, and that's the taste I'm getting. Because I can get some of those Scotch tones,
Really?
of,
I
like the
didn't
blue
get
tones
it.
of Johnnie
Interesting.
Walker, but I'm getting more of the rye than what I want. If I can get that blend down on the rye a little bit, it could be interesting. But to me, it's too overbearing on the rye.
No one over the top.
Way over the top, especially for $55. For now, that's not fair to me. My palate. I know I like Scotch. I'm not a bourbon guy, rye whiskey guy. So, $55 for me can go a lot longer, different ways. So I'm gonna go 1.5 in this one. I think it's. You know what? I'm gonna go 1 actually. I think 1 is a fair
That's
assessment.
where I
He
was.
just took it
I was
down a
starting to
notch.
think.
Dang, hit
think
the
of
Well,
Johnnie
I'm
below
doing
the
that based
belt.
on my palate, based on the price and everything
Come on, let's
else.
do it for Johnny.
It's-
it's
hard to just-
balance. You know, so that's the thing. Where what I'm getting wrapped up in this. We're drinking a rye whiskey, and we're judging a rye whiskey on Scotch standards, and maybe that's not what we should be doing.
Right. It's.
Well, here's
Go ahead.
All right, you're up, man.
here's my take on the whole thing.
All right.
Not just this particular bottle, but all of those bottles that are trying to be American
He's taking
whiskeys.
on the whole damn market.
Oh, watch out!
If
Come on.
I am going to buy a Scotch, then I would like a Scotch. I know where the bourbon
Preach
section
it,
is. It's
man.
right
Amen.
next door.
Can I get it
right?
again?
Holla!
So to me, if you're looking to try a Scotch, then go try a Scotch. There's lots of good Scotches that are, you know, a
Affordable.
good crossover
That's
between,
true.
you know, that'll take you from bourbons if you like sweet. Go get a sherry cask Speyside, you know.
Work your way
and
that
you can,
way.
And you can get something good for, you know, $40 or $50. Try it and see if you like it, you know.
Yep.
To me, if you're going to this, you know, you're really not trying Scotch. It's it's a bourbon.
this is
It's a
bourbon.
rye whiskey.
Right.
You know,
It's bourbon with a hint of Scotch.
and
Yeah,
and it's
in the back.
you know, and it's not bad. There's nothing off-putting about it per se.
That's correct.
But you know, if I want to go drink a bourbon, I got bourbons. I can go get a bourbon.
Hell yeah.
You know,
And for $55, I can go get a pretty damn
You get
good
a
quality
nice
bourbon.
so to me,
Horse
you know,
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of if you're making something, then be
Make it.
honest about it and go make
Yeah.
Scotch.
Be the best
you know?
at it. Right.
So I mean, is it horribly off-putting? No, you know, but to me, it's not Scotch.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
But then again, time out.
And-
We knew what it was
Right.
pouring it, right?
But-
That's what it says on the bottle, right?
So I mean, they didn't lie about it, you
Right.
know, and there's nothing off-putting about it. But to my perspective, if you're gonna make Scotch, then make Scotch.
Sure.
You
your
know,
number? What's
your
so
number?
I'm gonna give it a 1. I'm not
Let's go
a
back.
huge fan. I'm not a big rye guy anyway, so.
Quick review.
Here it goes.
Okay.
Water, what did it
I
do?
put water in it. As a non-Scotch, typical non-Scotch drinker, I'd have to say adding the water kind of almost made me think that it made it more Scotch,
It made it real scotchy.
more Scotchy taste.
Ah, okay.
Alright.
So that's bringing your number
I
down
said it
from the
tasted more like
2.5.
rye.
So we got a lot of interesting
If
comments.
you put a rock
about
on that,
this
what do you think
one,
would
but-
happen? That you probably wouldn't like.
I think the chilling of it
Oh yeah.
would bring it back to the bourbon
And
taste.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
probably
do
true.
that in our reviews,
Yeah.
but I know
Yeah.
that does have an
Yeah,
effect.
Yeah, that
Changing the temperature
yeah,
of your liquid
yeah,
will
if-
change the flavor too.
Correct. I think that would have probably stopped that more Scotch flavor
Yep.
to show up because it would chill and the bourbon would still
Okay.
pop out.
So what number you got on this?
So now what's your
I
number?
think I'm still sticking with the
All right.
With
Okay,
2.5?
well, let's use
2.5
that.
just because
But you know
it's
what?
not overwhelming like
To
a
me,
lot
that
of the other
says
ones that I've had
that
from you guys.
somebody who drinks predominantly bourbons and ryes enjoys this. They
Right.
they
Yeah.
hit their mark
So Johnny Walker
for what
hit
they
it.
were going for.
Yeah, I
If I
So-
found this on sale at somewhere for probably $45, maybe take $10 off of it or something, I'd probably buy it just
Okay.
because. Plus, you're a Johnny Walker guy, right?
Absolutely.
It's Johnny Walker.
Right. So I
That's
come
a
over to your
staple
bar
to-
and I see this. Man, give me a glass of that. I gotta
Any
try
Johnny
it.
Walker, whether you have
Absolutely.
platinum, blue, black,
Absolutely.
red.
And
Maybe not red.
think it's good the red one.
Maybe not red.
I mean, I do love Johnny Walker.
But this, you know what? This was an
But
interesting
it's Johnny
bottle to
Walker.
try.
You know,
So-
it is interesting. It's kind of nice to see something different and taste it.
Right.
It's good to share with you guys. You know what? Johnny Walker Rye. What we got? We
One,
One,
1.5,
1.5,
1.
2.5.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
All
Bourbon
right,
guy.
so it's kind of all over, but it's a low
So,
number. but-
amongst us four, it's a 1.25.
1.25.
Throw the bourbon guy in there, and it's probably gonna jack it up to maybe a 1.75
yeah.
or somewhere around there. But
Yep.
hey, appreciate it.
it's
Slancha.
You gotta try them,
I don't know
right?
what to say, man.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
I bet we'll get
everybody.
comments on
Oh, I'm
this.
sure we will.
Cheers,
Can't wait to
cheers,
hear
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Good, bad, or other. Hey, Scotch lovers. Thanks for watching.
Join in the conversation.
More videos below.
Poke Mark and subscribe.